Hello guys, I've got a quick update video for you today. I've been working hard on the 1/16 scale M10 Achilles from Andy's hobby headquarters, but I don't as yet have enough video footage to make a decent video for you. However, while I've been working on it, I have been looking at a few different upgrades that I could make, all of them 3D printed, and I thought I'd show you those today. So as you can see here, I've got the majority of the Achilles turret built up and primed. And so the first 3D printed edition that I wanted to show you is these jerry cans. I will leave links to the creators of all of these 3D models in the description below. All of them tend to cost, but they're all relatively cheap, just a few euros. So as you can see here, I've got these British War Department jerry cans with 1944, 1942, 1943 as the dates, so a nice bit of variation in those. I also have these ones, very similar, but with the water marking on the bottom. And then two more variations which have the War Department logo embossed in the centre there, rather than the BMB logo. Or the BMB lettering, should I say. So there are a few things I could do with these. I could stash them on the side of the turret like so. Or I could put them on the space on the front here of the main hull. And you can see there I've got the main hull primed and pre-shaded as well. We do see that sometimes in reference photos. However, what we also see in reference photos is these brackets here for the track grousers, but with the track grousers removed, or just one left on at the bottom to act like a shelf, and the jerry cans attached to the side like so. So that's another option that I might go for. Another thing that we see a lot of on the side of the Achilles turret is stowage, particularly tarps and canvases and things like that. And I've 3D printed a range of these. Most of these were upscaled from 1/35th scale. And I have the option there to tie them down onto those tie-down handles on the side of the turret. I could even stack a couple of these together perhaps. It might be that I'll need to either carve something out of the back of the 3D printed shape or just chop off some of those protrusions from the turret side to get them to lay flat. But as you can see here, we've got a variety of different models, and I've also scaled them slightly differently, so some of them I've made wider than others. These models were all free of charge, if I remember correctly. And we've got some slight variation in patterns there amongst them. We also have this smaller bed mat here. I'm not too sure about these two. The folds don't look quite as natural as I would like, so I might leave those ones off. But as you can see, they should attach quite nicely and give the Achilles an impression of being a bit more lived in. At the centre of the rear of the turret, of course, we have the mounting point for the machine gun. And here I've got these 50 cal ammunition boxes. I've printed plenty of them because you never know if there's going to be a slight problem with the printing or if you just need more than you thought you might. I probably shouldn't have glued those little bars there down, but these boxes can fit in the stowage compartments at the back here. Or they could even just go on the back of the turret. One thing that surprised me that wasn't included in the kit is the Sten guns which are stowed on the inside of the turret for the crew's personal defence. I forget now while I'm recording this if they go on the left side here or the rear side, but either way these are 1/16 scale Sten guns, and if you notice the magazine is rotated 90 degrees because that's how they are when the guns are in stowage. Again, I printed a few of them because I wasn't super confident they'd print well, but in actual fact they have all printed pretty decently. What hasn't printed decently, and I only just noticed this when I came to film this after priming them, is these shell casings. I think this must be due to the way that I supported them because they all look like they've sort of slightly shifted, all in exactly the same place. So I need to reprint these, but nevertheless I think these will look really good, either scattered around the Achilles or perhaps even just discarded here after being fired. Of course, the rear engine deck of the Achilles is often a place where we'll find some stowage, and I've got a few things that will go on there. First up, we have these British C224 ammunition boxes. Now these were used for howitzer ammunition, but apparently these boxes were popular with other crews as well because they had a rubber gasket inside them to keep things dry. And if we look at this reference image here of this Achilles, it certainly looks like there's one of these on that front left fender. Then we have the 17 powder ammunition boxes in two slightly different versions. And I'm not quite sure what I've done here because neither of these are 1/35th scale, but I've obviously upscaled them from 1/35th scale on two different print runs and done it incorrectly on at least one of those print runs. I suspect that these ones here are the correct ones because they correspond more with the ammunition size we'd expect. But they've got a good amount of detail there. They've got like a moulded in rope on the end there, so quite a nice accessory. And of course, we can always throw on some 50 cal boxes or something else as well. Then we have this British wooden ration box which contains lots of ration cans. And again, I've messed something up here because I've got this version and this version, so I must have had a brain fade at some point. I think what I've done is I've taken the 1/35th scale version, scaled it up, and then probably forgotten that I've scaled it up, and scaled it up again. But although I'm showing you the bigger version of this box here, I believe actually the smaller version is more accurate. And again, we do sometimes see reference photos with these on the fenders at the front, or on the front armour plating like so. And then finally, one more thing here, and I'd appreciate your help with this, guys, if you know anything about it. This is a British stove, and to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure that this version is suitable for World War II. So if you are able to confirm or deny that, do please let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that. And then finally, and I mean finally this time, I've got these tiny tins of food, emergency rations here. One of them is a biscuit tin. I think they all look quite nice, sort of scattered around those stowage areas in the back of the turret. And one final thing, and I'm aware that's the third time I've said final, I was considering putting some extended edge connectors, the so-called Duckbill connectors, on the end of these tracks. I saw it in this reference photo here and I thought it looks pretty cool, and I can download a 3D printed set for not too much. However, it does require some modification to the vehicle. As you can see in the reference photo, the front fenders need to be removed, and you have to make a modification at the rear as well, which I'm not 100% clear on at the moment. So I don't know, what do you think, guys? Should I hack this kit apart a little bit and leave those fenders off? Or should I build it with them on and the standard tracks? So there we go, guys. That's a few of the 3D printed accessories that I'm going to use on my Achilles to try to make it look a little bit more lived in and ultimately a bit more realistic, hopefully. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I really think this is where 3D printing comes into its own. I went through Quartz 3D looking for various items, and each of these were either free or I think at most, I think one of them was €3. And of course, once you've got the STL file, you can print as many of an item as you want, and you can scale it into different sizes, as I have done here. So it's a very flexible approach to things, I think. Hopefully the next time you see the Achilles, it will be painted and ready. As you can tell, there's not too much to do on the building so far, but then of course I do need to do both the interior and the exterior painting. If you want to see that, then please remember to subscribe. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and special thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. And until my next full video, thanks again for watching, and have fun modelling.